The story starts on a dark and foggy night in a quiet neighborhood called Privet Drive. Albus Dumbledore arrives and uses a special device called a deluminator to turn off the streetlights. Just then, Professor McGonagall, who was hiding as a cat, appears. Hagrid arrives on a flying motorcycle. He is carrying a small baby, Harry Potter. On Harry's forehead is a lightning-shaped scar that makes him special. Dumbledore leaves a letter with Harry on the doorstep. 10 years have passed, and Harry Potter's life is shitty and strange. He sleeps in a small, dusty cupboard under the stairs. The Dursley family, Uncle Vernon, Aunt Petunia, and their spoiled, chubby son Dudley, treat Harry like a servant. Then comes Dudley's birthday, and the Dursleys decide to visit the zoo. At the zoo, Harry notices a large, giant snake. Harry realizes he can talk to the snake. Dudley pushes Harry aside, but then something unbelievable happens. Dudley falls straight into the tank screaming for help. Meanwhile, the snake slithers out and looks at Harry, nodding as if to say thank you, before quietly leaving the zoo. Dursleys blame Harry for everything that happened. One day, Harry receives a letter. But as soon as Harry tries to read it, Uncle Vernon snatches it away. The next day, even stranger things happen. More letters start arriving from everywhere. They fall down the chimney, slide under the door, and even arrive hidden inside eggs carried by owls. Uncle Vernon goes completely mad trying to stop the letters. In desperation, he takes the entire family to a remote, deserted island to escape them. On the night of Harry's 11th birthday, there is a loud bang, and the door is broken down by Hagrid. Hagrid explains to Harry that he belongs to a magical world and reveals that his parents were killed in a magical accident at the hands of Voldemort. Hagrid hands Harry his acceptance letter to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hagrid takes Harry to London, where he introduces him to Diagon Alley, a magical street filled with unique shops and strange creatures. Hagrid then takes Harry to Gringotts Wizarding Bank, run by goblins. Harry buys all the essentials for his new school. On 1st September, Hagrid drops Harry off at King's Cross Station and leaves. Harry is confused and unsure about how to find the Hogwarts Express, as there is no sign of the train on the regular platforms. Just then, Harry meets the Weasley family. They quickly notice his confusion and help him. Mrs. Weasley kindly explains how to reach platform 9 3/4, a magical hidden platform where the Hogwarts Express departs. Harry follows their instructions, running straight at the seemingly solid barrier between platforms 9 and 10. To his surprise, he passes through and finds himself on the Hogwarts Express. On the train, he meets Ron Weasley. When the train reaches Hogwarts, the students are welcomed by Professor McGonagall, who leads them to the Great Hall. Here, the first years are introduced to the sorting ceremony, where the magical sorting hat places each student into one of 4 houses: Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, or Hufflepuff. Harry, Ron, and Hermione Granger are all sorted into Gryffindor, the house of courage and bravery. Meanwhile, Draco Malfoy is sorted into Slytherin, a house known for its ambition and cunning. Harry quickly gets used to life at Hogwarts and starts taking classes like potions, charms, and transfiguration. Professor Snape, the potions teacher, is very strict with Harry, while Professor McGonagall impresses everyone with her skill in transfiguration. On Halloween, a troll breaks into the castle, causing chaos everywhere. Students are told to return to their dormitories, but Harry and Ron realize that Hermione does not know about the danger because she is in the girls' bathroom. The 2 boys find Hermione and see the troll attacking her. They work together and manage to defeat the troll. One night, the 3 friends accidentally wander into the forbidden 3rd-floor corridor. There they find Fluffy, a huge 3-headed dog guarding a trapdoor. Hermione figures out that the taunt is protecting something important, but they do not know what it is yet. Harry also does great in his flying lessons, catching Madam Hooch's attention. He is chosen for the Gryffindor Quidditch team as Seeker, becoming the youngest player in a century. One day, Harry finds the Mirror of Erised, which shows him his parents alive and happy. Dumbledore tells Harry that the mirror does not show reality and advises him to stay away from it. The trio learns that the Philosopher's Stone, created by Nicholas Flamel, is hidden at Hogwarts. This stone not only grants immortality, but extends life. They suspect that someone, possibly Snape, is trying to steal the stone. One day, Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Draco receive punishment and are sent to the Forbidden Forest with Hagrid. There they find a dead unicorn and see a shadowy figure drinking its blood. Hagrid explains that the blood of the unicorn keeps a person alive, but at a terrible cost. Harry thinks that this shadowy figure might be Voldemort. The trio decide to protect the stone. They return to the third-floor corridor and put Fluffy to sleep. After that, they face several magical challenges. Hermione uses her knowledge of herbology to free them from the dangerous plant. Harry uses his Quidditch skills to catch the right key. Ron sacrifices himself in a dangerous game of chess so Harry and Hermione can move forward. In the final chamber, Harry meets Professor Quirrell, who turns out to be the real villain instead of Snape. Quirrell reveals that Voldemort is living as a parasitic presence at the back of his head. Voldemort orders Quirrell to attack Harry. Harry wakes up in the hospital wing, where Dumbledore tells him that the Philosopher's Stone has been destroyed to prevent its misuse. Harry successfully saves the Philosopher's Stone, but Voldemort flees as a spirit. At the end of year feast, Gryffindor wins the House Cup. Harry returns to the Dursleys for the summer, but he looks forward to his second year at Hogwarts. And that is a wrap on today's recap. Hope you enjoyed the magical journey with us. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumb.
In today's video, we will explore the full story of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. The story begins with Harry spending his summer at the Dursleys' house, where he's stuck doing homework. When Aunt Marge arrives, she treats Harry rudely and insults his parents, causing Harry to lose control and accidentally inflate her like a balloon. Furious, Harry runs away, grabs his Hogwarts belongings, and leaves at midnight. On the road, he encounters a huge, terrifying dog, but loses his balance after hearing it bark. A magical night bus, led by conductor Stan, picks him up and takes him to the Leaky Cauldron. There, the Minister of Magic, Cornelius Fudge, is waiting for him. He tells Harry that Aunt Marge was found floating, but had her memory erased, and that it's unsafe for Harry to be out alone, because a dangerous fugitive Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban. The next day, Harry tries to open a dangerous book that attacks him, but manages to subdue it. He then meets Ron and Hermione, who have also arrived for the school year. Ron, back from Egypt, shows Harry pictures of his trip. Mr. Weasley warns Harry that Sirius Black, who escaped from Azkaban, is after him. Black believes Harry can stop Voldemort, so Harry is advised not to search for him. On the Hogwarts Express, Harry tells Ron and Hermione everything, and they meet Professor Lupin, the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, who is asleep. The train stops, gets dark, and cold as Dementors search for Sirius Black. They attack Harry, causing him to faint, but Lupin drives them away and gives him chocolate. At Hogwarts, Lupin teaches Defense Against the Dark Arts, and Hagrid is the new Care of Magical Creatures teacher. Dementors patrol the school. In divination, Trelawney predicts trouble and death for Harry, seeing a Grim in his tea leaves, which Ron links to Sirius. Hermione disagrees. In Care of Magical Creatures, Harry rides Buckbeak, but Draco is attacked after not following instructions. Rumors spread that Sirius was near Hogwarts. In Defense Against the Dark Arts, Lupin teaches how to defeat a boggart, which turns into a Dementor when it's Harry's turn. Lupin stops it by transforming the boggart into a full moon. Harry isn't allowed to go to Hogsmeade because Uncle Vernon didn't sign his permission slip. Ron and Hermione go without him, and Harry visits Lupin, who reveals he was friends with Harry's parents and says Harry is like them. Later, Ron and Hermione tell Harry that Sirius Black attacked the fat lady's portrait. The school is searched, but Black isn't found. Snape fills in for Lupin and teaches about werewolves. During a Quidditch match, Dementors attack Harry, causing him to fall. Dumbledore saves him, but his broom is destroyed. Harry asks Lupin why Dementors attack him, and Lupin explains it's due to his tragic past. He agrees to teach Harry to defend against them. Harry sneaks into Hogsmeade using his invisibility cloak, and Fred and George give him the Marauder's map, which shows secret paths around the school. To use it, Harry says, "I solemnly swear I am up to no good," and "mischief managed" to close it. Harry sneaks into Hogsmeade using the Marauder's map and learns from a conversation that Sirius Black is not only his parents' friend, but also their betrayer. Harry wants to kill Sirius. Later, he successfully learns the Patronus charm from Lupin. Ron and Hermione argue over Ron's missing rat scabbers, suspecting Hermione's cat Crookshanks. They visit Hagrid, who explains that Buckbeak was sentenced to death by Lucius Malfoy. Harry uses the Marauder's map again and sees Peter Pettigrew's name, but he's caught by Snape. In divination, Trelawney makes a cryptic prophecy about death. The next day, Buckbeak's sentencing occurs, and Hermione punches Draco Malfoy. Later, a large dog drags Ron into the Whomping Willow, leading Harry and Hermione to discover that the dog is actually Sirius Black, who reveals he is Harry's godfather. Sirius explains that Peter Pettigrew, not him, betrayed Harry's parents. Harry decides to take Pettigrew to the castle to give him to the Dementors. However, when they exit the Shrieking Shack, Lupin transforms into a werewolf due to the full moon, which distracts everyone. This allows Pettigrew to escape in his rat form. Sirius turns into a dog to fight Lupin, and a battle ensues, with Sirius getting severely injured. Harry, in an attempt to save Sirius, throws a rock at Lupin, who is about to attack him. Hearing a distant noise, Lupin follows it, and Harry rushes to Sirius, who is by the lake. However, Dementors appear and begin to attack both Harry and Sirius. As Sirius is attacked, Harry tries to stop the Dementors, but they turn their attention to him. Sirius's soul leaves his body, and just then, Harry sees a white stag across the lake, which drives the Dementors away. After they leave, Sirius's soul returns to his body, and both Harry and Sirius pass out. When Harry wakes up in the hospital, he tells Hermione that he saw his dad. Hermione informs him that the Dementors captured Sirius and are about to take his soul. Dumbledore arrives, and Harry, Hermione, and Ron explain that Sirius is innocent and that Peter Pettigrew is the one who betrayed Harry's parents. Dumbledore tells them that no one would believe them, but also mentions that time is a mysterious thing. Sirius is locked in the highest tower, and Dumbledore asks Hermione to follow the rules and return before the last bell rings, as saving Sirius would save many innocent lives. Hermione reveals that she has a time turner, which she has used throughout the year to attend her classes. They travel back in time, ensuring that Buckbeak is alive and safely moved. They hide outside Hagrid's house to avoid being seen by their past selves and successfully relocate Buckbeak to safety. They then go to the Dark Tower, where they free Sirius and ride Buckbeak to safety. Returning to the hospital wing just in time, they explain their success to Dumbledore. The next day, Lupin leaves because everyone found out that he is a werewolf. Before he leaves, he gives Harry the Marauder's map. Finally, Harry returns to the Great Hall, where students are excited because someone gifted him a firebolt broomstick. Along with the broomstick is Buckbeak's feather, and Harry flies off on his... Harry Potter's fourth year at Hogwarts begins with a terrifying vision. He sees a Muggle caretaker named Frank Bryce being murdered at the Riddle House by Lord Voldemort and his followers. But this isn't just a dream. It's a warning of the dark forces gathering strength. Before Harry can process it, he's swept up in the excitement of the Quidditch World Cup. The atmosphere is electric, as teams from around the world compete in a breathtaking display of magical talent. However, the celebration is cut short when Death Eaters attack, wreaking havoc and leaving behind the chilling mark of Voldemort in the sky. Back at Hogwarts, Professor Dumbledore makes an exciting announcement. The school will host the prestigious Triwizard Tournament, a legendary competition between 3 wizarding schools. Students from Durmstrang and Beauxbaton arrive in grand fashion, bringing a new sense of energy and mystery to Hogwarts. The Goblet of Fire selects Fleur Delacour for Beauxbaton, Victor Krum for Durmstrang, and Cedric Diggory for Hogwarts. However, something shocking happens. The goblet spits out a 4th name, Harry Potter. Despite never entering, Harry is forced to compete due to the magical binding contract. Many students, including Ron, believe Harry cheated, leading to tension between the best friends. The first task is a heart-pounding challenge where champions must retrieve a golden egg guarded by a deadly dragon. Thanks to a tip from the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Professor Moody, Harry successfully summons his broomstick and outmaneuvers his Hungarian horntail. His daring flight leaves everyone stunned, and he manages to secure the egg. Impressed by Harry's bravery, Ron finally realizes the danger his friend is in and reconciles with him. As the excitement of the tournament builds, Hogwarts prepares for the Yule Ball, a grand event filled with music, dancing, and drama. Harry nervously asks Cho Chang to be his date, but she has already agreed to go with Cedric. Instead, he goes with Parvati Patil, while Ron, still bitter about everything, reluctantly attends with Padma Patil. However, Ron's jealousy reaches new heights when Hermione arrives with Victor Krum, the famous Quidditch star. This sparks a heated argument between Ron and Hermione, adding more tension to their friendship. For the second task, the champions must rescue someone important to them from the depths of the Black Lake. Each champion's loved one is taken. Cedric must save Cho. Victor must rescue Hermione. Fleur must save her younger sister Gabrielle, and Harry must save Ron. The challenge is made even harder by the cold, murky water and mysterious merpeople guarding the captives. Thanks to Neville Longbottom's advice, Harry eats gillyweed, allowing him to breathe underwater. When Fleur is unable to save Gabrielle, Harry risks his own score by rescuing both Ron and Gabrielle. His selflessness earns him second place and the respect of the judges. As the mystery of the tournament deepens, Harry stumbles upon something horrifying: the lifeless body of Ministry official Barty Crouch Sr. in the Forbidden Forest. While investigating, he enters Dumbledore's pensive, a magical device that allows him to witness past events. He sees a trial where Barty Crouch Jr., a known Death Eater, is exposed and sentenced to Azkaban. To Harry's shock, he recognizes Crouch Jr. as the man from his vision, realizing he played a crucial role in Voldemort's plan. The final task is the most dangerous of all: a massive enchanted maze filled with dark magic and hidden threats. The champions must navigate through it to reach the Triwizard Cup. The maze tests their courage, intelligence, and survival skills. Harry and Cedric, after helping each other along the way, reach the cup at the same time. Deciding to share the victory, they grab the cup together, only to realize it's a portkey that transports them to a dark and eerie graveyard. It is here that the tournament's true purpose is revealed. The competition was never just a game, it was a trap. Pettigrew, Voldemort's loyal servant, is waiting for them. Without hesitation, he kills Cedric on Voldemort's orders. Harry is forced to watch in horror as his blood is used in a dark ritual to bring Voldemort back to full power. The Dark Lord, now resurrected, calls upon his Death Eaters and taunts Harry before challenging him to a duel. The moment is terrifying. Voldemort casts the killing curse, but something incredible happens. Their wands connect in a rare magical event called Priori Incantatem. The spirits of Voldemort's past victims, including Harry's parents, appear. They distract Voldemort just long enough for Harry to escape with Cedric's body, using the portkey to return to Hogwarts. The chaos doesn't end there. Back at the school, Harry, shaken and injured, tells Dumbledore what happened. However, before he can process everything, he is taken away by Moody. In a shocking twist, Moody reveals himself as the mastermind behind Harry's selection in the Triwizard Tournament. He confesses that he guided Harry throughout the competition, ensuring he reached the graveyard so Voldemort could return. But before Moody can harm Harry, Dumbledore, Snape, and McGonagall burst in and subdue him. It is then revealed that this isn't the real Moody, it is Barty Crouch Jr. in disguise. He had been using Polyjuice Potion all year, while the real Moody was imprisoned in a magical trunk. As the school year comes to an end, Dumbledore holds a somber feast, honoring Cedric's memory and warning everyone about Voldemort's return. However, the Ministry of Magic refuses to accept the truth, dismissing Harry's claims. Many are in denial, but those who know the real danger ahead begin preparing for the inevitable war. As Harry, Ron, and Hermione say their goodbyes, they understand that life will never be the same. The world they knew is changing, and a dark future lies ahead. Harry's fourth year at Hogwarts was a turning point. It was filled with intense challenges, heartbreaking losses, and the terrifying return of the Dark Lord. But this is just the beginning. The wizarding world is on the brink of war, and Harry's journey is far from over. After a terrifying Dementor attack on Harry and his cousin Dudley, Harry is forced to use magic outside of school. The Ministry seizes the opportunity to put him on trial, attempting to expel him from Hogwarts. However, thanks to Dumbledore's intervention, Harry is cleared of all charges. Soon after, he is taken to the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix, a secret group fighting against Voldemort, where he reunites with his friends, Ron and Hermione, and meets Sirius Black, his godfather. Here, he learns how the Ministry is trying to cover up Voldemort's return to avoid mass panic. The Order is preparing for war, but without the Ministry's support, they are fighting an uphill battle. Despite the growing danger, the Ministry continues to deny the truth, even appointing Dolores Umbridge as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts professor to keep Hogwarts under their control. Umbridge quickly becomes a nightmare for the students. She refuses to teach real defensive spells and punishes those who oppose her with cruel methods, including using a cursed quill that carves words into the skin. She enforces strict rules, bans certain magical activities, and spies on students, making Hogwarts feel like a prison. Her power grows when she is appointed High Inquisitor, allowing her to inspect and control the teachers as well. Frustrated by the lack of proper training, Harry, Ron, and Hermione secretly form Dumbledore's army, a group dedicated to teaching students real defense techniques. The school becomes a place of fear and control, but Harry and his friends refuse to back down. Their secret meetings become a source of hope for the students, and many of them, including Neville, Luna, and Ginny, begin to show remarkable improvement in their magical abilities. The group finds ways to resist Umbridge's rule, pulling pranks and disrupting her authority whenever they can. Meanwhile, Harry starts experiencing visions of Voldemort's actions, including a horrifying moment where he sees Arthur Weasley being attacked by a giant snake. Dumbledore grows concerned about the connection between Harry and Voldemort and orders Professor Snape to teach him occlumency, a skill that can block Voldemort's influence. The situation at Hogwarts worsens when Umbridge and her inquisitorial squad discover Dumbledore's army. To protect Harry and the students, Dumbledore takes the blame and is forced to flee. Umbridge then becomes the new headmistress, making her rule over the school even more unbearable. The students rebel in small ways, refusing to let her crush their spirits completely. But Harry is more worried about something else. His connection to Voldemort is getting stronger, and soon he experiences a vision that changes everything. Harry sees Voldemort torturing Sirius at the Department of Mysteries. Convinced that his godfather is in grave danger, Harry rushes to the Ministry with Ron, Hermione, Ginny, Neville, and Luna. Once inside, they find a mysterious prophecy with Harry's name on it. But before they can escape, they are ambushed by Death Eaters led by Lucius Malfoy and Bellatrix Lestrange. A fierce battle erupts, and the young wizards fight with everything they have. They hold their own for a while, but the Death Eaters are more experienced and soon overwhelm them. Just when all hope seems lost, the Order of the Phoenix arrives to fight alongside them. The room erupts in chaos as powerful spells are cast in every direction. Sirius and Bellatrix duel, but in a heartbreaking moment, she strikes him with a deadly curse, sending him through the veil of death. Harry is devastated as he watches his godfather disappear forever. His grief turns to rage, and he chases after Bellatrix, engaging her in a fight. He nearly uses the Cruciatus curse on her, but before he can do anything else, Voldemort himself arrives. Harry stands frozen as the Dark Lord stares at him, ready to end his life. But then, Dumbledore appears. The battle between Dumbledore and Voldemort is unlike anything seen before. Their magic collides in an epic duel, with elements of fire, water, and stone clashing. The entire ministry shakes under the force of their power. Voldemort is a formidable opponent, but Dumbledore holds his ground. Just when it seems Voldemort may gain the upper hand, he tries a different tactic. He possesses Harry, entering his mind and trying to break him from within. Harry experiences unbearable pain, but in that moment, he thinks of his friends, his parents, and Sirius. His love and connection to those he cares about force Voldemort out. The Dark Lord is weakened, and as ministry officials arrive, he vanishes, escaping into the night. Now, with undeniable proof that Voldemort has returned, the world can no longer turn a blind eye. The ministry is forced to acknowledge the truth, and Umbridge is removed from power. Dumbledore returns as headmaster, and things begin to return to normal at Hogwarts, at least as normal as they can be with war looming ahead. In the aftermath, Dumbledore explains the prophecy to Harry. It reveals that either he or Voldemort must die, or neither can live while the other survives. Harry now understands that his fate is sealed. The war has begun, and he must be ready to fight.
Starts with Harry, who is spending his summer with the Dursleys and feels forgotten on his 12th birthday. He has not heard from his friends Ron and Hermione and is told to stay in his room during a dinner party. In his room, Harry meets a house elf named Dobby, who warns him not to return to Hogwarts because it is dangerous. When Harry refuses, Dobby causes trouble by making a mess of Aunt Petunia's pudding and disappears, leaving Harry locked in his room. After 3 days, Harry is rescued by Ron and his brothers, Fred and George, in a flying car. They take him to the Weasley home, where Mrs. Weasley scolds her sons for using the car, but Mr. Weasley is happy about it. Harry is impressed by the Weasley house and feels at home. Soon, Harry receives a letter about the new school year and another letter from Hermione saying she is excited to meet in London to buy school supplies. The Weasleys use flu powder to get to London, but Harry accidentally ends up in Knockturn Alley instead of Diagon Alley, where he sees Draco Malfoy. After leaving, Harry meets Hagrid, who helps him get back to Diagon Alley, where he reunites with the Weasleys and Hermione's family. On the day they go to Hogwarts, Harry and Ron miss the train, so they use Ron's dad's flying car to get there. The car's invisibility magic stops working, and people almost see them. When they finally reach Hogwarts, the car crashes into a tree, which gets angry and attacks them. They watch some of the sorting ceremony from outside, where new students are sorted into their Hogwarts houses. Oliver Wood, the Gryffindor Quidditch captain, wakes Harry up early for practice. The Slytherin team, with permission from Snape, shows up to train their new seeker, Draco Malfoy. Draco's dad, Lucius, gave the team new broomsticks. Draco makes fun of the Weasley brothers' old broomsticks, and Hermione defends them, saying they succeed with skill, not money. Draco calls Hermione a filthy little mudblood, causing an argument. Ron tries to fight Draco, but his broken wand backfires and makes him start belching slugs. Harry and Ron get detention for flying the car to school. Ron has to clean trophies, while Harry helps Lockhart with his fan mail. In Lockhart's office, Harry hears a strange voice. On Halloween, Harry hears the voice again, follows it, and finds Mrs. Norris the cat, frozen like a statue with a message on the wall. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. Filch blames Harry, but Dumbledore says Harry is too young to do such magic, and the cat is not dead, just frozen. Harry plays his first Quidditch match, but a bewitched bludger attacks him. He catches the snitch and wins, but the bludger breaks his arm. Lockhart accidentally makes Harry's bones disappear, and while in the hospital, Harry meets Dobby. Dobby warns Harry to leave Hogwarts. During a dueling club meeting, Harry speaks in snake language to stop a snake Draco conjured, making everyone think he might be the heir of Slytherin. Harry finds Justin and nearly headless Nick frozen in a corridor. McGonagall takes Harry to Dumbledore's office. There, Harry sees the Sorting Hat again and wonders if it made the right choice in putting him in Gryffindor. He also sees Dumbledore's Phoenix Fox being reborn. Dumbledore tells Harry he does not think Harry caused the attacks, but asks if Harry has anything to tell him. Harry says no. On Christmas, Harry, Ron, and Hermione use the Polyjuice potion. Harry and Ron turn into Draco's friends, Crabbe and Goyle, to ask Draco about the attacks. They learn Draco is not the heir of Slytherin, but they find out the Chamber of Secrets was opened 50 years ago. Later, Harry finds a diary that belonged to Tom Riddle. When he writes in it, Riddle talks to him. Riddle tells Harry about a girl who was killed by a monster long ago. Riddle shows Harry that Hagrid was blamed for the attack because he tried to protect a dangerous creature. Harry, Ron, and Hermione decide not to tell Hagrid unless someone else gets hurt. Harry hears a strange voice again, and Hermione gets an idea to find out more. Later, McGonagall tells Harry and Ron that Hermione and another student have been petrified. Harry and Ron decide to visit Hagrid at night, but before they can talk, Dumbledore and Cornelius Fudge arrive. Fudge sends Hagrid to Azkaban, and Lucius Malfoy tells Dumbledore that he is suspended. Hagrid tells the boys to follow the spiders. The next day, Harry and Ron find a trail of spiders in the Forbidden Forest. They follow it and meet a giant spider named Aragog. Aragog tells them he is not the monster from the chamber and that Hagrid did not open it. Harry and Ron find a note in Hermione's hand saying the monster is a basilisk. The school is closing because Ginny has been taken to the chamber. The teachers send Lockhart to face the monster, but he tries to run away. Harry and Ron make him go with them. They find a secret tunnel in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom that leads to the chamber. In the Chamber of Secrets, Lockhart tries to use a spell on Harry and Ron, but it backfires and he forgets everything. Harry finds Ginny and Tom Riddle. Riddle is really Voldemort, and he used a diary to control Ginny. Harry calls for help and Fawkes, Dumbledore's Phoenix, comes. Fawkes blinds the basilisk and gives Harry a sword. Harry uses the sword to kill the basilisk and destroys Riddle's diary. Ginny wakes up, and Fawkes flies them all out of the chamber. Dumbledore returns and Harry tells him what happened. Harry feels unsure, thinking he and Riddle are alike, but Dumbledore explains that it is the choices they make that matter. Lucius Malfoy comes with Dobby, and Harry realizes Lucius gave Ginny the diary. Harry tricks Lucius into freeing Dobby, who is very grateful. In the end, the petrified students are healed, exams are canceled, and Hagrid is freed. Lockhart is fired after forgetting everything, and Harry returns home for the summer.
The wizarding world is teetering on the brink of chaos. Lord Voldemort tightens his grip with the destruction of the Millennium Bridge and the kidnapping of wandmaker Mr. Ollivander, sending shockwaves through both the wizarding and muggle worlds. These events mark a dark new chapter in Voldemort's reign of terror. Albus Dumbledore takes Harry Potter on a mission to recruit Horace Slughorn, a former potions master, back to Hogwarts. Slughorn's return is essential for Dumbledore's plans, as he holds a critical memory about Voldemort's past. After successfully recruiting Slughorn, Harry reunites with Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger at the Burrow. Enjoying a brief moment of peace, before returning to Hogwarts for another tumultuous year. Amid the growing darkness, Draco Malfoy is tasked with a secret mission that could alter the fate of Hogwarts. Narcissa Malfoy, desperate to protect her son, turns to Severus Snape. He makes an unbreakable vow to protect Draco and complete his mission if needed, further deepening the ambiguity of his loyalties. While in Diagon Alley, the trio spots Draco and Narcissa meeting with Death Eaters in Nocturne Alley. Despite Harry's growing suspicions of Draco's involvement with Voldemort, Ron and Hermione remain unconvinced. On the Hogwarts Express, Harry sneaks into the Slytherin carriage to spy on Draco, but is caught and immobilized. Luna Lovegood finds him and helps him recover, setting the stage for another intense year at Hogwarts. At Hogwarts, Harry discovers a potions textbook filled with the Half-Blood Prince's notes, containing advanced instructions and dangerous spells. This helps him excel in class and earn a liquid luck potion from Slughorn. Ron earns a spot as keeper on the Gryffindor Quidditch team and starts dating Lavender Brown, causing Hermione significant emotional distress. During the Christmas holidays, Bellatrix Lestrange and Fenrir Greyback attack and destroy the Burrow, leaving the Weasley family shaken. The destruction of their home highlights the vulnerability of even the most powerful wizarding families. Dumbledore tasks Harry with retrieving a critical memory from Slughorn about Voldemort's past. Slughorn, feeling guilty about his past interactions with Tom Riddle, resists giving Harry the full truth. After Ron consumes a love potion intended for Harry and survives a poisoning attempt from Slughorn's gifted mead, Harry becomes more determined to uncover the memory. This incident also highlights the ongoing dangers within the walls of Hogwarts. Harry eventually confronts Draco, leading to a fierce duel in the bathroom. Using a spell from the Half-Blood Prince's textbook, Harry gravely injures Draco with the Sectum Sempra curse, leaving him bleeding out. Snape intervenes just in time, saving Draco's life. Realizing the book is dangerous, Ginny persuades Harry to hide it in the Room of Requirement. Harry uses his liquid luck potion to retrieve the vital memory from Slughorn. Viewing the memory in Dumbledore's pensive, they learn that Voldemort split his soul into 6 Horcruxes to achieve immortality. 2 Horcruxes, Tom Riddle's diary and Marvolo Gaunt's ring, are already destroyed. Dumbledore and Harry travel to a cave to retrieve another Horcrux, Slytherin's locket. The cave is filled with dark magic and danger. Dumbledore drinks a potion that protects the Horcrux, weakening him severely and leaving him vulnerable. He experiences immense pain and hallucinations, showcasing his humanity and sacrifice. They barely escape an attack by Inferi, reanimated corpses controlled by dark magic. Dumbledore summons a ring of fire to fend off the Inferi, and they apparate back to Hogwarts, both deeply shaken and aware of the growing danger. Meanwhile, Draco succeeds in repairing the Vanishing Cabinet, allowing Death Eaters to infiltrate Hogwarts. On the Astronomy Tower, Draco disarms Dumbledore but hesitates to kill him, revealing his inner conflict and fear. Snape arrives and fulfills the unbreakable vow by casting the killing curse. Dumbledore falls, leaving Harry devastated. The Death Eaters flee, and Snape reveals that he is the Half-Blood Prince before disappearing into the night. The school mourns Dumbledore's death, and the weight of his loss is felt across the wizarding world. Hogwarts students and staff gather to pay their respects, highlighting the immense impact Dumbledore had on the school and the wizarding community. Harry discovers the Horcrux locket is a fake. Dumbledore's death signals the end of an era for Hogwarts and the beginning of an all-out...
Hey Potterheads! Welcome to another epic movie recap. Today, we're diving into Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, a thrilling, emotional, and action-packed ride. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss our next adventure. The movie opens with chaos in the wizarding world. We see the Minister of Magic, Rufus Scrimgeour, giving a speech, but we know things are falling apart. Meanwhile, Hermione erases her parents' memories in a heartbreaking scene, ensuring their safety. The Dursleys also leave Privet Drive, making it clear that the world is no longer safe for anyone connected to Harry. Cut to Privet Drive, Harry is leaving his home for the last time. The Order of the Phoenix, including Mad-Eye Moody, Lupin, Tonks, and others, arrive with a risky plan. They create 7 decoys of Harry using Polyjuice Potion. As they take off, Death Eaters ambush them in a deadly aerial battle. Voldemort himself appears, attacking Harry. But his wand reacts on its own, saving him just in time. At the Burrow, the group regroups, but tragedy strikes, Mad-Eye Moody is dead. Despite the loss, they attend Bill and Fleur's wedding, where Harry meets Xenophilius Lovegood, who hints at the Deathly Hallows. But the celebration is cut short when Death Eaters attack. Harry, Hermione, and Ron barely escape by operating to London, landing in the middle of a Muggle street. On the run, the trio hides in a cafe but is soon attacked by Death Eaters. A brief but intense duel follows, ending with Hermione wiping the enemy's memories. They barely survive and head to Grimmauld Place, where they learn that the locket Horcrux is in the hands of Dolores Umbridge. They also find Kreacher, who initially resents them but reveals that Mundungus Fletcher stole the locket. Sneaking into the Ministry of Magic in disguise, they witness the horrors of Voldemort's rule, Muggleborns being interrogated. Umbridge, now high in ranks, has the locket. Hermione stuns Umbridge, and they grab the Horcrux, escaping through the Floo network. However, their safe house is compromised, and they are forced to flee. But things get worse. Wearing the Horcrux makes them paranoid and irritable. Ron, frustrated and feeling like an outsider, leaves after a heated argument. Heartbroken, Harry and Hermione continue alone, moving from one remote location to another, surviving in the wilderness. To keep their spirits up, they even share a bittersweet dance in one scene. Eventually, they visit Godric's Hollow, hoping to find clues about the Deathly Hallows. Instead, they walk into a trap set by Voldemort's snake, Nagini, disguised as Bathilda Bagshot. A terrifying battle breaks out, with Hermione barely managing to save Harry before they escape. During their escape, Harry's wand is broken, adding to their despair. Days later, while camping in the snowy woods, Harry sees a Patronus, a silver doe, leading him to a frozen lake. Beneath the ice lies the sword of Gryffindor. Harry dives in, but the Horcrux around his neck tightens, trying to drown him. At the last second, Ron returns, saving him. He destroys the Horcrux with the sword, proving his loyalty. Their friendship is restored. Reunited, they visit Xenophilius Lovegood, who explains the Deathly Hallows, the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak. However, he betrays them to Death Eaters, hoping to get his daughter back. The trio narrowly escapes but is later captured by Snatchers and taken to Malfoy Manor. At Malfoy Manor, Bellatrix Lestrange tortures Hermione for information, demanding to know where they got the Sword of Gryffindor. Meanwhile, Harry and Ron are locked in the dungeon with Luna Lovegood, Ollivander, and Griphook. With the help of Dobby, they stage a daring escape. In a desperate battle, they free Hermione, but as they apparate away, Bellatrix throws a knife. It hits Dobby. They land on a beach, where Dobby dies in Harry's arms, whispering, "Such a beautiful place, to be with friends." Harry buries him without magic, a sign of his deep respect. Meanwhile, Harry also starts experiencing intense visions through his connection with Voldemort. He sees Voldemort torturing different people, including Gregorovitch, the Wandmaker. The movie ends with Voldemort breaking into Dumbledore's tomb and stealing the Elder Wand, unleashing its immense power. Lightning strikes as he raises it triumphantly. And that's how Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 leaves us on the edge of our seats.
Hey Potterheads! Welcome to the finale battle of Harry and Voldemort. Today, we're diving into Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallow Part 2, a thrilling, emotional, and action-packed ride. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss our next adventure. A storm rages over the lake, lightning lighting up the castle. Voldemort's thin fingers close around the Elder Wand. With a bright flash, he sends a bolt into the sky. Darkness follows. The battle has begun. Harry, Ron, and Hermione stand near the ocean. They must break into Gringotts. With the help of a disguised Hermione and a reluctant goblin, Griphook, they sneak into Bellatrix Lestrange's vault, but as they grab the Horcrux, the treasure starts to multiply, nearly burying them in burning gold. As guards close in, they climb onto a dragon, smashing through the glass ceiling into the open sky. The dragon soars away, chains still hanging from its legs. The trio falls into a lake, gasping for breath. Another Horcrux is gone, but the fight is not over. At Hogwarts, Voldemort stands with his army, his voice echoing in the night. He knows Harry is coming, and Harry knows where he must go next. Hogwarts. Inside the Room of Requirement, Ron and Hermione find the lost basilisk fangs, knowing they must destroy more Horcruxes. Meanwhile, Harry searches for the lost diadem of Ravenclaw. But he is not alone. Draco Malfoy, with his friends, tries to stop him. Spells fly, shelves fall, and fire spreads everywhere. The cursed flames consume the room. Harry, Ron, and Hermione save Draco and his friend just in time. Another Horcrux is gone. Outside, the Battle of Hogwarts begins. Professor McGonagall brings the statues to life, commanding them to defend the castle. A magic shield covers the castle, but Voldemort lifts the Elder Wand and breaks it with one spell. The final battle begins. The castle trembles as spells collide. The sky is filled with flashes of light, and Hogwarts defenders fight with everything they have. Spells clash in a dazzling display of red and green light, illuminating the night sky. Voldemort believes Snape is the true master of the Elder Wand and kills him. With his last breath, Snape gives Harry his memories. In Dumbledore's office, Harry pours them into the pensieve. What he sees changes everything. Severus Snape, the man he had disliked for years, had always loved Harry's mother. He had protected Harry, even risking his own life. The truth hits hard. Dumbledore had planned for Harry's death. He was the final Horcrux. He had to die. Harry walks into the Forbidden Forest. Voldemort is waiting. No fight, no struggle. Just a single whispered curse. Silence. A bright white light. Harry wakes up in a quiet, empty King's Cross station. Dumbledore appears before him and tells him that he has a choice. He can move on, or he can return. Harry opens his eyes. He is alive. Voldemort, thinking Harry is dead, marches to Hogwarts with Hagrid carrying Harry's body. He announces Harry's death. But as the Death Eaters celebrate, Neville Longbottom steps forward. He speaks bravely, declaring that those who died did not die for nothing. Harry jumps from Hagrid's arms. A battle breaks out. Spells fly in every direction. Ron and Hermione fight alongside the defenders of Hogwarts. Bellatrix Lestrange faces off against Molly Weasley, but with one powerful strike, Bellatrix is gone. Harry and Voldemort meet in the courtyard, surrounded by the ruins of Hogwarts. Voldemort's power is fading. Neville Longbottom pulls out the sword of Gryffindor and cuts off Nagini's head. The final Horcrux is destroyed. At the same moment, Harry sends his own spell. The green light of Voldemort's curse rebounds. His body lifts into the air, then crumbles into nothing. The war is over. As the dust settles, Harry stands in the Great Hall, surrounded by the fallen and the victorious. He looks at the Elder Wand, knowing its power is too dangerous. He snaps the Elder Wand and Harry, Ron, and Hermione reflect on their journey, knowing their lives have changed forever. They stand together, realizing they are no longer just students, they are heroes. 19 years later, on Platform 9 3/4, the Hogwarts Express steams forward, ready for another year. Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Ginny watch their children board the train. Albus Severus Potter, named after the two bravest men Harry knew, looks up at his father, worried about his future. Harry kneels and reassures him that he will be great no matter where he goes. The train whistles. The platform slowly fades from view as the train carries the next generation to Hogwarts. The cycle continues, but this time, the world is free. Harry stands still, watching, scar still on his forehead. A reminder of the past, but a symbol